Hey, what's up guys? Drew here, Helix Managed WordPress Hosting. We're going to do a quick tutorial about using encrypted FTP when you host with Helix. So why do you need encrypted FTP when you host your WordPress sites with Helix? Well, you're going to use it for three things. You're going to use it for installing WordPress plugins, for installing WordPress themes, and for doing any of your custom theme development and modifying theme files. So if you're doing custom theme development, you're going to move your files back and forth out of the WordPress environment with encrypted FTP. Image uploads, so if you're working in WordPress and you're writing pages and writing blog posts and articles, you can still use WordPress to add to your media library. That doesn't change. You're just going to use encrypted FTP for these three things: plugins, themes, and custom theme development work. Now, why do we want to do that? What are the benefits? Well, Helix is a much more secure WordPress host. And when you use encrypted FTP, it allows for two main things. It allows us to be more restrictive in terms of our permissions on the Helix server clusters. So we can do things like restricting uploads into certain directories where things don't belong, and we can restrict code execution in directories where code should never be executed. And this stops the bad guys from breaking in, dropping malicious scripts in obscure directories and running them. Helix, doing it this way also allows Helix to disable the vulnerable parts of the WordPress backend, specifically the theme editor. You never want the theme editor to be enabled, because while it may be convenient to edit your theme from inside the WordPress backend, if your credentials ever get compromised on the WordPress backend, you would give a bad guy full access to modify your theme files, which means they can really deface your site and hide all kinds of nasty stuff in there. Using encrypted FTP also allows you to kind of partition security and access to your site among your team members. So when you have people who are in the back end who are generally doing things like content creation, writing articles and blog posts and things like that, they won't be able to really install and manage themes and plugins. You have to be able to use encrypted FTP, so you can separate that to your more technical people if you'd like to. So it gives you a bit of an advantage. So it's slightly different than you might be used to at your old host, but there are many benefits, and that's why you want to do that. So what are the features of our encrypted FTP clusters? So this is not secure FTP. It's not SFTP. You have to remember that when you're configuring your FTP software. This is FTP with SSL/TLS. There's a difference, so remember that. We're using 256-bit encryption between your FTP client and the Helix server clusters, and these are real certificates. They're globally recognized Let's Encrypt SSL certs, so these are real certificates. They're not self-signed. When you're configuring your FTP client software, you need to know a few things. Like I said, you need to remember that it's FTP with TLS/SSL. It's not SFTP. You need a host name, you need a login, and you need a password. And we're going to provide all of those things for you when we install WordPress or we get everything moved over from your old host. A lot of people ask us, which FTP client do I have to use? Well, you don't have to use any one in particular. You should just use something that's current. So we know that some older FTP clients are a bit problematic. For instance, Transmit 4 for the Mac is a problem. But if you're using current FTP software, anything is going to work. Now, we like FileZilla. Why? Because it's free, it works really well, it's easy to use, and it's cross-platform. It doesn't look very Mac-like, but it works quite well even on the Mac. And it's smart enough to auto-detect what type of connection you have, so there's minimal configuration. And give it a shot, filezillaproject.org. You can download it and try it. When you are using whatever FTP client you're using, when you first connect to the FTP servers, you may be prompted to accept and trust our SSL certificates. You can do that. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So let's go over to my FileZilla now. I'm pre-configured. And as you can see, I'm going to make a connection. I'm going to upload a sample plugin folder to a test site that we have. So I do have a host name, I have a username, and I've already put in my password. So we're ready to go. We're going to hit the connect button. And the first time I connect to the server, FileZilla, or whatever FTP client you may be using, is going to ask you, is this an okay certificate? I see a certificate. Is this okay? Here's how you know it's okay. The host name here matches the host name up here. It's issued by the Let's Encrypt Certificate Authority. That's a real certificate authority. And here's the host name here. It matches, and you see it's a 256-bit certificate. So you're good to go. You can hit in FileZilla, you would just hit these two boxes. Whatever your FTP client is may have different ways for you to accept and trust the certificates. And just click OK, and we're on the way. Now we're connected to the server. We're going to go into public HTML. That's where your site is always served out of. To upload a plugin, we're going into WP Content. And in this situation, since we're going to upload a plugin, we're going to go into the plugins directory. I have a little sample shortcodes ultimate plugin here. We're going to drag it over. We'll just put it over here. That's fine. Into the plugins directory. So in FileZilla, your local host is on the left, and you can navigate through your file system that way. And the server is on the right, and you're navigating that way. Of course, when you're uploading plugins, you're in WP Content/plugins. If you're uploading themes, you're in WP Content/themes. So this is going to take just a second to go. It's almost done. It's pretty quick. The other thing that we like about FileZilla is it is fast. The transfers are fast. It gives you a lot of information in terms of how many files are left to queue and how many are done. As you can see, it's done already. And so now in my WordPress plugins directory, here I have my shortcodes ultimate plugin. In a future video, we'll show you how to upload a plugin and then activate it, and how to upload a theme and activate it. Until then, that's about all there is to it. So if there's any questions or you're not sure about this, hit us up on the web, iamhelix.com/support, to get to our support pages and reach out and touch us if you need to. Thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate your business. Have a great day.